They have that same connection that they want to take down the United States and destabilize us, and they want to continue with communism. How could they completely take over everything? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about the economy and how a lot of them are pulling out of our economy. And a lot of the countries are getting involved in the BRICS. If you guys know what the BRICS is, I'm sure you do. If you don't, it's I couldn't even try to explain it other than they're pulling away from the US dollar and they have their own agenda for the economy. Okay. The primary BRICS members is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. That is the BRICS. Those are the official top 5 members. Okay. The BRICS New Development Bank members are Bangladesh, Egypt, United Arab Emirates, and Uruguay. And some of them may now be a part of the actual BRICS membership, but I'm not sure they were in process, and they may officially be a part of it now. So BRICS plan is to dominate the world economy by 2050. That is their plan on why they started the BRICS membership, is to dominate the world economy by 2050. Then I wanted to break down how in the world could they take the United States? We always talk about, we have a bigger military, they have weapons, but we have better weapons, or whatever. There's different disagreements and discussions along the lines of all of this. So then I wanted to look at the sizes and the population of BRICS community and or the BRICS membership, and our United States population and landmass and so forth, to kind of compare sizes of if it were them against us. So Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa combined have 15,346,100 square miles, and they own, that is a total of 26.7% of the total land mass in the world. Okay. Population is of the BRICS, the top 5 BRICS members, is 3.21 billion people, and that accounts for 41.5% of the world population. If you want to break it down to just our threats, Russia and China, Russia has 6,612,074 square miles, which is about twice the size of the area of Canada. And that is 11% of the world's landmass, and population is 146.2 million, which is 1.8% of the world population. China has 3,690,100 square miles, which is 8% of the landmass of the earth. And the population of China is 1.4 billion, which is 18.5% of the world population. If you compare that to the United States population, and I'm going over this because if they decided to come after us to conquer us, I want to compare numbers for how big they really are compared to our size. This is why I'm going over this, guys. So if you compare it to the United States population is currently 331 million people. 331 million people here that would be left to hold our ground if they came into our country against just China and Russia, which is 1.6 billion population. 331 million to 1.6 billion population. That is a huge outnumber, guys. We have 6.56% of the total landmass on the earth, and we have 4.25% of the world's population in the United States. Countries who have applied for becoming a member of BRICS, and this is not the full list: Algeria, Belarus, Bahrain, Comoros, Bangladesh, Cuba, Ethiopia, Dominican, Iran, Congo, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, and Angola, which some of these I know are now part of BRICS, but at the time I was doing this, they were just applying for membership. So they want to be a part of BRICS, basically. They want to drop the dollar and they want to get into this membership with these countries that are considered our threats. And the USSR and China were allies back in the day because they share the ideology of communism and the desire to take down the United States. and they fell apart at one point, but now you guys, they're together again. They have that same connection that they want to take down the United States and destabilize us, and they want to continue with communism. Then you had the Sino-Soviet alliance, which was what I'm saying is the Soviet Empire, and that was the Soviet Union and their allies, which was China and a bunch of other countries around that area, which is why I brought up China with BRICS. And they were the economic aid, which is what BRICS is, guys, the economic aid to each other, all right, and military cooperation. Is that not what China and Russia are doing? They're literally having military cooperation. They are aligned together in BRICS for financial support, okay? The Soviet Union provided economic aid to help with industrial and infrastructure development, supplied military technology and weapons, provided each other with agricultural needs, and provided each other with consumer goods. This is happening now. They are repeating history. They are doing this again. They are helping each other to work together to bring us down. They're trying to bring us down. And we already know that. So then I went even deeper in my thought process, okay? Well, wait, let me also tell you that the Soviet Union also would ship who they deemed as minorities to other locations to protect their people, okay? There are rumors out there that Biden is in China's pocket, right? We've heard this, we know this, we've seen videos, something is up. It's pretty obvious. We know that China is in Russia's pocket. You know that because China's already said, if anything happens to you, we are going to step in. Oh, what? You guys need commodities. We're going to send you some. We're not going to set up here anymore. We're going to stop people from coming close to your country. They're already doing that. China's in Russia's pocket. China and Russia obviously are working together with war support, with BRICS, with consumer goods, with oil, so forth. Build back better. That was our president's slogan. Build back better. What have we seen in the United States that has been built back better? I've not seen anything. I've seen food not being in the stores. I've seen gas prices go up. I've seen people lose their jobs. I've seen people get sick. I've seen people get sick and die. I've seen people not be able to get medical help. I've seen more destruction and more division than I've ever seen in the past. So are we really building back better? Or was build back better not actually meant for us? It was for whose pockets he's in. It was for who he has been secretly helping and getting funds from. What if the whole purpose of his slogan was not to build us back better, but to rebuild the empire better, to fix their mistakes they made in the past, to make the empire bigger and better this time? Everything is falling into place to where China and Russia is getting stronger. They are working together. They are supporting each other. They have each other's backs. If the leaders are showing signs of following suit with the USSR and China in the past, which was the Soviet Empire, we're already, I literally, the first thing, if you did not see the beginning of this live, go back and watch it, because I went through 50 different, not 50, almost 50 different questions that I asked you if this is something you've heard happen here, or did happen, or is going to happen, is coming, is starting to be rolled out. But what you guys didn't know is that was the rules and regulations of the Soviet Union, of the Soviet Empire, that were already in place to control the people. So they are following suit. They are following a lot of the same rules, and they are implementing a lot of the same rules here. The other thing that concerned me is we have already, I'm not going to say we, because we as the people were not a part of it, and we as the people did not agree with it. Our administration has already left equipment in Afghanistan. We are currently placing equipment in Ukraine under the title of helping them. We are placing equipment in Poland to help them fight against Russia. All of these countries that we are placing equipment in to help them were a part of the Soviet Union at one point, or the Soviet Empire. They were all a part of it, which is why so many of the countries jumped on NATO, because they did not want to be back to be a part of the Soviet Union. They were aware that Putin is trying to recreate or to revive the Soviet Union. So they jumped on NATO to have protection. But all these countries that we are placing equipment in, but in Afghanistan, is all a part or was a part of the Soviet Union and or empire. So if Putin succeeds in taking Ukraine, he's not going to stop there. He's going to push to Poland, which Poland has already expressed fears of that. He's going to push to Finland. He's going to push to Germany. He's going to just keep pushing as far as he can to keep pushing. If Russia does take UK, we've already supplied them with the equipment and supplies, and in turn have also supplied China because they are allies. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be helping Ukraine or any innocent people. I just want you to see that there's a possibility that what we are doing could get into the wrong hands. It also seems like our administration is breaking down our military. Our military is not the same as it used to be. Our soldiers are not like they used to be. They are wearing us thin. They are sending us into wars we have no business being in. They are accepting people into the military while they are lowering standards of what they have to do or what they can do to be able to get in. They have, for lack of better words, pussified boot camp so that a lot of the people going into the military now don't go through the rigorous hardship of the physical activity, the mental breakdowns, the emotional breakdowns that our original soldiers used to have to go through for a reason. They had to be tough, not only to face what they were going to see if they had to go to war, but also to be able to hold it together if they were ever a POW. That doesn't happen now. The soldiers that we're bringing in now, the training that they are getting now, if a lot of those people are POWs, they are not going to hold up like our original soldiers did 10 years ago. They're breaking us down not only from wearing us thin, but from the inside out. So if UK does get taken over, or Ukraine, not UK, I keep saying UK, Ukraine does get taken over, and Putin does keep going, and they go into Poland or Finland or any of the other NATO countries, NATO will get involved. However, a lot of these countries that are a part of BRICS were also a part of the Soviet Union, which tells me that it seems like BRICS might not just be for economic gain. It seems to me that there may be something behind the scenes that BRICS countries, there may be a secret of them combining if it comes down to having to push against NATO. And the BRICS in whole is 41.5% of the world population for just the top 5. That's not including all the minors that are applying or that are new members now. Once they do that, once they get in, that is going to be 50%, more than 50% of the world population coming at us if BRICS really is not just for economical gain. And if we're over 50%, even if NATO is involved, you have people who are not involved in NATO and not involved in BRICS that are going to try to sit it out. But that still outnumbers us. By numbers, guys, by numbers. I feel like our administration, with all the laws that he has changed and all the regulations and rules he has put in, and dropping borders and letting people freely come over, and are being worn down, are being thinned out to be taken over, which is never going to happen without a fight. And a lot of the laws that are in place that match up with the communist rules and regulations that we have rolling out, it seems like the people that are going along with it now, not us that believe in the Constitution, but the ones that don't believe in the Constitution, that it would be a simple transition for them to go right into communism without even realizing it. They would just go right along with it because half the rules and regulations are already in place, desensitizing. So if we are moving towards the Soviet empire being even larger and weakening the United States to be taken over, that would be a really easy way to complete the agenda of the New World Order, the one world government, the one world currency, and the one world religion, based on just what they've done, what they're doing, what they plan on doing to us here in the United States. And then I thought maybe that is how, if any of you remember the Deagle report, if you looked at it closely, it showed that it declined 2/3 of the world population, okay? Which, of course, would happen during a war, or to that extent, it would have to be a war or a mass casualty of a natural event of catastrophic proportions. But the Deagle report also, if you looked based on country, showed that China and Russia's population grew massively by 2030, and that a lot of the other countries, including ours, dwindled. And lots of us assumed that the population within our country was via death, via the jab. But what if the Deagle report of our dwindling country population was not actually a mass death? What if the dwindling number of our country was because our country was no longer, because it shrunk, because it was overtaken, and it became a different country, a different rulership, a different government, which would make sense for the numbers to rise with China and Russia, with the Russian Empire being rebuilt, if they were sent in to take us over and make us a lot smaller than we are now. So it's not necessarily the United States population going down by a death. It's those population numbers being taken out of our number of our country and being put into another because they grew. That was the end of my thoughts after staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning, thinking of all of this and putting pieces together and looking at what's already been done and where these rules and so forth came from and how they roll it out and put it in here to the United States and start them in the United States. And I wanted to share what I found with all of you. I pray it doesn't happen, but if it does, you are aware. Everything that I have cross-checked, referenced, followed, put together would be terrible for us. And I really hope that most of us fight tooth and nail to not have this come to our country, because it's not good for us at all. Does it make sense? That's what I want to know. Does it make sense to you guys, what I've put together and the possibility? Is it plausible? I'm sure a lot of you weren't aware of a lot of these things that are already in effect. I can tell you I'm not going to lay down and take it. I'm going to do my best to push against it. I'm not going to comply. Teach your children the possibilities of what could come. Talk to your neighbors. Somehow, drop a hint of, wow, this is weird. This is exactly what happened here. This is happening in our free country now. How strange. How strange. Open that conversation. Get people aware. Share this out if you want to. If you know someone that wants to follow down a rabbit hole with me. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. I don't have anything else to bring to you all. I hope to see y'all tomorrow night. As always, love each other. Help each other. Know that God's in control. And stay alert. Think for yourselves. And don't comply. Other than that, be safe, and y'all have an excellent night. Good night. Much love.